Boys, today I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips on how to improve on Shadowverse Evolve. You will see me occasionally glance down to look at some notes I have prepared just so I can stay on topic. Also, if you guys notice, I am in the same shirt because I'm recording this and my top deck video on the same day. So, don't mind me. Do not mind me. But I'm going to start with my first tip, and that is abusing wards slash untap units. A lot of new players, I feel like, they ward on random timings, right? Like if you have Ancient Elf, sometimes you can go without warding an Ancient Elf, right? Because if you ward and they Evo, they can use that rush because it gains rush when you Evo into clearing your ward. But if they have a clear board and their Storm cards don't count until like I don't know, example Amaraj, if it's a 5/5, Amaraj doesn't get Storm until like turn 5. You could actually just leave your Ancient Elf unwarded, and then that's a new pressure. Like they have to answer with it like an execution. Since bells don't even like hit that range of 5/5 because Ancient Elf is really huge. So you have to like think of it. Same with leaving your not even wards but units itself untapped. You can leave your I don't know Necromancer in my case when I play Abyss. I leave that untapped. If they don't have execution or I don't know anything else, they can't really clear. Right? I won't even swing if it's a ward in front of it. For example, if they warded, I'll leave it untapped because it's hard to clear. So things like that is what you should really be thinking about when you're warding slash untapping your units. I think it's really big and it helps you get better a lot faster. You'll notice it matters a lot in a lot of the games you play as soon as you start doing it. It's like a game breaker, right? Another thing I want to mention, which is the second tip I have, is attack order. A lot of people, for whatever reason, I know this is probably like really hard to like grasp, but a lot of people play new units before they attack with their units on the board currently. Because that gives your opponent more information, right? If I have 2 units on the board and they're both like, I don't know, 2/2s, and I play like my, I don't know, 4/4 for 4, and they have execution in their hand, they're going to execution that target, right? They're going to execution the bigger threat. But if I swung my 2/2s first, there's a chance that they actually misuse their mana and execution the card that's attacking first and earlier, and you can punish them based on that. And then your 4/4 lives on the board for longer, right? So you want to punish your opponent for not knowing that information, right? So you want to bait some of their things out with using your attack order and attacking the correct order, which matters a lot against like Rune, Haven. It comes up as well. So you want to make sure you're attacking in a correct order and attacking effectively and efficiently. Now we're going to go to 3, and you want to know your matchup, know the matchup in general. Knowing the matchup is important because if you know your opponent, what their deck is capable of, what their ranges are, where they can kill you at, and things of that nature, you could definitely get an upper like hand. If you know they don't priest until 4, they don't have priest until 4, right? If you know their best removal card is Decree, for example, they cannot Decree you. Or Blazing Breath, they have 1 man up, you assume Blazing Breath because you played the matchup, right? So you want to know your matchup, know what you're facing against, and know how to handle it adequately and effectively. So if you know the matchup, you could play around something. You could bait the Blazing Breath, for example, or the Dragon Wings, or you don't want to go too wide on a Conflag because they could Conflag you. Things of that nature, right? You want to know the matchup, know how to play around it, and things of that nature. Just play games. That's what's really important. Just play a lot of games. Um, Fourth tip I have for you guys is plan out your lethal. A lot of people will not know how to get lethal from the cards in their hand, right? Especially important in aggro where you have multiple lines for lethal. So you want to see where you can kill them at, what range you have the burst at, right? This is not applicable to all decks. This is more for aggro decks, but it's still important in your Haven, your Dragons, and things like that nature. You want to know, oh, I have a Dark General plus a Blazing Breath or plus a Razor Claw. I can kill them from 8. If I get them to 8, that is my game range. I have game barring the execution or some random thing. But I have game on 8. That's what I should be playing toward. Game to 8 life points. If I'm a sword, I have a Subaki and a Knowledge Trooper. I have game from 9. Or wait, Subaki's, I have game from 8 as well. I can burst them down at 8. I want to get them into the 8 range to burst them down with my Subaki plus Knowledge Trooper for game. You want to think about the game in ranges, and you want to assume you have game on this range. Like if I have this range, if I put them to this amount of life points, I can kill them on this turn. There's also a lot of examples you can think about. Forte is like a simpler example. Forte is 7/3. As soon as I get them to 7, that is lethal. That's my lethal range. I want to push them towards 7 while gaining advantage. That is also a way to look at it. Or you can think of that as rune. As soon as you get your D-shift turn, you want to play as efficiently into the D-shift turn. So plan out your lethal. And with that, it's also want to, know your win con, know your deck itself, right? A lot of people are new to the game, which, is what it is. But you need to know your win con, know how you're going to win, if it's D-shift, if it's Forte, if it's G-Dragon, right? You want to know how you're going to win, how is the most effective way to win, and how to, win the game. So you want to know your win con no matter what you're playing against, how you can get to the win con, what you're playing against. So all these tips kind of like work together. You want to plan out your attack order, know your warding, know how to know the matchup. You want to know your win con so you can play your win con into that matchup, right? So there's a lot of all those tips kind of interlock together. And this is the last tip I have for you guys, which I think is actually the most important tip and also the hardest tip to learn and grasp, really. You want to know how to bait and read your opponent's hand. In card games, especially I think this one, you want to be able to eliminate certain cards in your opponent's hand that they had, right? I keep using this Haven example because the Pope is like a really good card. If they don't Pope you, you can eliminate they don't have Pope in their hand, and they have to do, I don't know, a less efficient clear, right? So for the rest of the game, unless they top deck into Pope, wow, this guy did not have Pope this turn. It's been two turns after that. The likelihood of them drawing into Pope is still very slim. I could probably do this riskier play because they don't have Pope, right? Same with Dragon Knight, things like that nature. I'm using those cards because they're simpler to understand. If they don't have that card and they use an ineffective way to clear, you can eliminate that card in their hand. They probably have like maybe more high cost cards in their hand if they don't have that effective way to clear. So you can assume what they have in their hand and be like, okay, maybe they have like a Lucifer, maybe like higher cost cards like up in that range. I can play like this and not get punished because the likelihood of them having X card is lower, right? So you want to start reading your opponent's hand, which takes some time and also takes a lot of reps. I think this is like the hardest thing to do because you need a lot of reps. You need to know how your opponent's going to play, what their options are, what their outs are, and things of that nature to read their hand correctly and assess the situation you're in correctly. And with assess your situation, you also want to assess and read when your opponent has game, right? And if they have the X card, damn, I have to accept that they have it, and I've read that they could have it, but I can't win without it. So I have to hope they don't have it and play towards your best win con, right? I see a lot of people making the misplay of, if they have Rose Queen, right, which is reading incorrectly, they have Rose Queen, I'm just going to lose. I'm going to try my hardest play around Rose Queen while realizing that I've played into 10 other different things that kill me. I need to effectively give up on my trying to like play around Rose Queen and start playing to win the game with them not having Rose Queen, and then hope to win the game based on that, not to play around it. So sometimes you have to read that they don't have it or hope they don't have it and play into winning the game. These are like a lot of things that I think interline. I'm also probably not explaining them to the best I can. This is like a lot of topics that I don't really engage in. So if you guys want more in depth, I could obviously, if you message me on Discord, hit me up in the comments. I will explain better on all these concepts. So that is it for now. I think I did an alright job explaining. Again, if you want me to explain in detail or if you have trouble understanding the video, because I don't think I explained it that well. I tried my best, right? Let me know in the comments. I'll try to explain better in different words and different things. So you guys have a nice day, and I'm going to see you guys later. Peace.